Okay, great. So now we'll start. I'll not waste time. If someone wants to come in, they can join us. Okay, so I'm going to talk about two topics today. So one topic is about your inner child, and later I'm going to talk about your soulmate. There are a lot of people out there who are looking for soulmate. Doesn't have to be only the husband. So people are always thinking when they're attracting a soulmate, it always have to be a life partner. Soulmates can be anybody, your friends, your family mates. It can be your brother. It can be anyone that you get connected to. It doesn't have to be so. It can be even there are times when we say the soulmate, when you adopt a pet for yourself, pet is also somewhere your soulmate. That's where you have it adopted the pet with you for you. Okay, so first I'll start with your inner child. So inner child is basically what we talk about is the child. So we say inner child is all about healing your inner child. So there are so many times, certain things will trigger you. So when we grow up at certain age, we don't know what is affecting us. Maybe success is not happening, career is not happening. So whenever we go for a job, we're always feeling low self-esteem. Maybe in a childhood, a parent must have said this is not going to happen for you, or this is very impossible for you to do, or you're not good enough. And a lot of people grow up feeling that they're not good enough. And everything that they do in their life, they do, whether they go for work, whether they're married, or whether they're in college, they always have that in a subconscious mind, I'm not good enough. They always keep comparing themselves with others. This is, and they're always feeling low self-esteem, low self-confidence, they don't even understand where it's coming from. So and when we really take them for the healing, we find out it's the inner child issue. So inner child is a small child within your own self that still holds certain beliefs within, and which is when we grow up as an adult are blocking us in a lot of things in our life. So for example, there is a child who is a 3 years old and has a sibling, a newborn baby which is an year old. Parents will always say, okay, now you're 3 to 4 years old, you are responsible for your brother or your sister, whoever is the newborn. You have to start understanding again, it's a responsibility you're giving to a child which is just 4 years old. The child itself is a child still. It doesn't know anything. And you're giving the other child responsibility and telling that you are responsible and you need to take care. The child does not understand, and the child grows up with that feeling. As they grow up, they're always taking responsibility and taking care of others. They don't even understand. Even when females, when they get married, they're always taking care. They're taking more responsibility than they can, because that's how they have been, conditioned as a child. And once we start healing it, we start releasing it. Now the responsibility becomes lesser. You are going to take responsibility only what you can. Now for good and not good enough. A lot of beliefs come from inner child. Beliefs come from the baby in the womb also. So you carry a lot of things what your mother is carrying at that time when she is carrying you as a fetus in the womb. So if the mother is feeling, say, not good enough, mother is feeling low self-esteem, low self-confidence, or fears. A lot of people have a lot of fears. So whatever the anxiety, or maybe sometime I've even met a lot of people when they come to me for healings or when they take a class, they also have this unwanted feeling, unnurtured, unloved. A lot of people have this unloved feeling. So many things that we carry, and when we go back and look, when we were small, when the fetus was there, the baby was not feeling loved, it's always going to grow up and feel unloved. So even if in the marriage or in a relationship or in a colleague's time, wherever they're even being loved, they cannot accept it, because that's how they grew up, feeling within unloved. From 0 to 10, whatever the child is taught or is being said, it has all the beliefs set up into it. And that is what you become after that. And that's how it rules all your life. You may feel that you have grown up. So sometimes basically with parents, a lot of kids have a lot of issues with their parents. And they're so bounded and limited, they can't even go and tell the parents, I'm not liking this. So there's a lot of things that they built within, suppressed emotions. They cannot voice and stand for themselves. So when they go out into the world, they can never stand for themselves. These are all your inner child issues. If a child has been abused or beaten up in small, They always grow up and they're always feeling unworthy. This is a very big thing. A lot of people have unworthy feeling within themselves. I'm unworthy for love. I'm unworthy for a great job. So people do apply. A lot of people come and they're in the career and they ask me, I'm applying for a job and I'm not getting a job. But the thing is, do you really believe that you can get that job? So sometimes even when you're applying, you have a conscious confidence, but because your inner child, you had that suppressed emotion and not feeling worthy, even when you're applying, you may feel that I'm not worthy. Will I get this job? Doubt. Self-doubt is so much. You don't even believe in your own self. So the child carries so much baggage as it grows up, and they all start showing up in when you grow up. And you have grown up as an adult, and you feel you start forgiving, and you start, no, my parents are very nice, my friends were good, but the child hasn't grown up. The child is still stuck over there. Still, that small kid inside you is still trying to find a space to come out. And this is this course that I'm having, which is coming on the 27th, which is on Sunday coming weekend, is all about connecting to your childhood. You know, people always tell you, why don't you grow up, mature? I never understood what that word maturity means. It is something that your parents or the collective consciousness, the people around puts in you. Mature up. Is it so bad to have the child come out and play with you? Is it so bad to be childish still when you grow up at the age of 50, 40, 60? What is wrong? And haven't you taken your responsibility? You have taken care of your children, your husband, your work. So if the child you're playing and you're doing some childish work, is it important to mature out? So this is all conditioning which are done to us when we are small. Oh, you cannot do like this, you cannot do like that. My mother was like this, you're supposed to be this way. This is all the conditioning when we do to the person and the child. And this, when you go back, the child has so much trauma and we start healing them. And when you start connecting to those people, so many times, when we are suppressed by our parents or people around, even in the schools, even in the colleges, when a child is going to a school, I have seen, teachers will always like a child who's very bright. And child is always compared. See, that child is like this. See, that mother is like this. That kid is doing like this. Do you understand how much the child is suffering and going through? And when the kids put on weight is also because of lack of nurturing and love. Parents are busy and and it's nothing to do with the parents because they have something coming from their parents or whatever people are doing in the small age for you when they're telling you certain things coming from their limitations and they're putting their beliefs into you. So this is how it is. Inner child is a very beautiful way of, connecting and healing yourself. I would suggest people to switch on their video. It's easier to connect for me. If everybody is going to go offline and put their videos off, it wouldn't make sense for me to do a free awareness talk. Yeah. It gives the energy for me also to connect with people who are listening. Yeah, tell me.
I want to ask basically, don't you feel, I guess every parent gives their beliefs to their children. And I guess each mother, each mother and father, they have their set of beliefs which they transfer it to, explain to their children. But in this way, each child will have I mean, uh, they'll have some issues basically coming up.
Yes, definitely. That's why we say either the parents, parents come to me and say, oh, my child is having this issue. Oh, my child is not doing good. I need to change my child. It has nothing to do with the child. It is to do with the parents. If
Yeah,
parents
but
heal themselves, the child would automatically heal. So these belief when you start, okay, for example, you carry from your parents, right? But you can make that change for yourself. So your children don't have that belief. So the healing that we do it permanently where we release from your DNA. We release the beliefs and we put in back the positive beliefs in you. So if your DNA is changing, your things are changing, your future generation or your children will automatically change. They do not have to do anything about it. Your
no, if
connection.
my child, suppose, whatever, if ever she has, I've already given her a set of beliefs and all that. If I do my inner healing, that'll affect her, that'll
Yeah,
change her.
yeah,
Okay. Now at this age too.
yeah.
Okay. She doesn't have to go for inner healing. I have to go for her to change. Is it so?
Yeah. This is what the concept the parents do not understand. If the child does it, nothing like it. Because if the child does it, she's not only releasing the belief from the parents, she's also releasing the belief from the society around. The society also limits you.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
girls are supposed to be like this, or the boys are supposed to be like this. That's how they grow up. And there's so many limiting beliefs that they carry from everywhere. Whether it's the teachers you go through, or is it the parents, is the society, it's the family members, everything. And child is so bounded, especially comparison. Half the time they compared, whether it's in the college, whether it's in the school, whether it's in the family. See, that girl is so nice, you're like this. You're gone on your mother. Why do the people say you're gone on your mother or your father? Because they see the same belief in you. So
So
when
do you think the child should take the class or the mother should take the class,
I
basically,
feel
at
if
this?
the parents are thinking the child is having issue and child doesn't want to take, then the parents should definitely take, because it
Hmm.
101% changes child's belief also, because they connected to your DNA and we are working on your DNA.
Okay, fine. I
So
got it now.
yeah. So sometimes what
Sibling
happens, child is
also
very
be
small.
sorry. I
Yeah.
said sibling rivalry is also then similar, right?
Yes.
But the sibling
Because
rivalry is in every house, I guess, today's every house has that
Yeah.
basically.
Because they're so
Even though if
compared.
a parent is, yeah, even if the parents, I mean, haven't brought that, but they always feel compared. If you
Yeah.
ask one child, they'll say, yeah, you love me more. The other child will
Yeah.
always say that. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. It's because it's coming from the womb.
but I
You
mean,
were
the mother
carrying
was
the
the same.
child. Yeah. But you don't know what were you going through when the one child was born and the other child was born.
Okay, I got it.
Right? Your emotions you don't know and you're passing on to the child. So maybe when you had the first child, you were more stressed out, right? But when you had the second child, your position was much better. Maybe you had more finances, you were more, subtle, you were more calmer because it was a second child and you were already had an experience. So it was easier to carry the second child. So the child is also carrying that, right?
So I guess every parent should take this class
Yes, I
basically
always
because
tell them. Yeah, I always tell them, parents, please, because when parents come to me and say, oh, my child is having an issue, I always tell them it's nothing to do with the child.
but
It's
at this age because of the DNA, you
yeah,
feel they'll change their thinking.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I
I
have
didn't know about
seen,
that.
because I have seen for myself. So I always give people example. I have a lot of testimonials also, not that thing, but I always give, when I had started doing my healings, I started seeing the environment changed. My parents changed. My relation to my siblings have changed. So because we are connected and we are not only changing ourselves, we are changing the future generations to come. So what the child has healed and you have healed, when the child has a child, they will not have those beliefs anymore. They will be free. The missingness is the unconditional self-love. If you haven't felt the self-love, how is a child going to feel the self-love?
True.
Nowadays children they feel so lonely. There's so much loneliness. Why? Lack of communication. When the child was small, the mother or the father didn't have time. Peer pressure. Why do kids go and do suicide? So much they feel low self-esteem, low self-confidence. Maybe in the childhood, child was doing something and the parents said, oh, you're not good enough. See how that person is doing. You're not good. You too cannot do it. Simple. The child gets it in the mind, I can never do it. And sometimes they say, oh, not good. Just leave me. So the child also feels how much ever I do, my parents can never be happy. And they grow up in the relationships also same way. How much ever you keep doing, there is never appreciation. They're unappreciated. Lot of children are unappreciated. Who appreciates you in the family and says, oh, wow, thank you so much, you've done this? Nobody. Your only expectations from you. So when the child, you do not have time for the child is unnurtured. And understand the beliefs that you have, that is the kind of people you will attract in your life also. So if you sit down and think, your friends are exactly somewhere like you. If they have something broken within and certain beliefs, you are going to attract the same people around. The more you're healing within yourself, the more you're doing healings, the more better you're going to get. And the more your circle will become much, much, much better. Your children will find much better people around them, much better students, the friends around them. And why I say inner child is also important for a child to do it if they can, if the parents can see that if the child can do it, child will heal with, right now, I feel if a child does it before it goes into the world, especially when they turn 23, 24, before that, if they do, and they clear their beliefs, they will never have issue once they're in the college because they have already worked on those beliefs and they'll attract a better people around, better friends around, better partner in their life. They'll not bring in the partner which is also issues they are suffering from. You always attract someone who is just somewhere similar to your issues. Trauma, maybe some childhood trauma. There's a lot of abuse the child has, and especially females. I'm going to talk about girls are being touched in a wrong way when they're small. They don't even remember. And that's when the fear comes in. They might not tell because the families are like that. They will not listen to them. And the child also doesn't understand, but it remains as an imprint in the child. Emotions. And when we heal them, we start to understand them, the child becomes more confident. Low self-esteem is so much nowadays. Literally, children don't want to communicate anymore. Do you have time? I see a lot of mothers, they just give the mobile to the child and they don't want to nurture them anymore. This lack of nurturing, the child feels unwanted. And as it grows up, it is going to feel unwanted everywhere. We as a consciously, we start understanding things, but at a subconscious, we still carry it. And that's how the situations come in. Sometimes parents says, I don't have enough money to give you this. We are not so rich, you always want. The child has, I do not have enough. And it'll struggle and keep earning and earning and earning, and it'll never have abundance and, financial abundance in their life because there's no belief. Parents never believed that they were abundance, and that's what they put in the child. Everything that we have from a childhood, especially in the baby in the womb, mother goes through so many emotions. Do we clear them? The child automatically takes it. For example, you are in a relationship and you're feeling unwanted in a relationship, and you're having a baby, you're already going through so much emotions, and you're passing all that to a child. Child feels when it grows unwanted. Sometimes when the child comes in, mother is not in that position, and the receiving of the child is not so happy. So as the child grows up, it already, when it's zero, it looks at the eyes of the mother and doesn't find love. It is always going to feel unloved. And how much ever they grow up, they'll always have this feeling of being unloved, uncared, unwanted, unworthiness. Sometimes, a child, when you're giving an attention to another child, second child feels invisible. You can only listen to one child at a time. So they build up a belief, I'm invisible to my parents. So it becomes very difficult for them to attract a partner or friends. There a lot of loneliness comes in. They're invisible.
Neetu, I can resonate so much with you because I know a lady who's almost 58, 59, and she's आज भी वो बोलती हैं कि because she was the first child in the family, she said I was an unplanned child.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why I got to tolerate a lot of stuff. And the younger sibling, you were a planned child, so you got all the benefits. I was shocked to hear. I said almost at the age of 60 also you're talking the same nonsense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could just immediately came to my mind. And then, it's like, then they try to control the younger ones. Then they try to, put them down, insult them. It's such a funny world. I don't know. बच्चे करे तो समझ में आता है, अभी 50-60 year old करते हैं ऐसे, it's so weird, you know. I said, oh my God,
Because they're still carrying that, na?
true,
Yeah.
true.
Shreya, you have to go now?
Because my tuitions are at 8:30 and I have to go to the place for
Okay.
maths.
So can
So
you stay here just for 5 minutes? And then we'll
yeah, sure, no
the
worries.
topic and then you can leave. Okay, just 5 minutes. So yeah, because people still carry, because that's the belief that they have, you know. It doesn't matter whether you're 80 or 70 or 40, as I said. It's something that you have gone through and you have felt. And same belief, they will put it on to their children. And now, because they're so upset about it, they wouldn't give you love. If I am unloved, why are you going to get that love? So it becomes a revenge energy people come in. You know, when you go into the outside world and the children go, I have seen in a teamwork, I have seen, that is my experience, you know, when I was studying in US, I found a lot of people have the belief from themselves. They learn, because they did not get love, they would never give it to someone else. They will try to degrade and bring them down. So when you go in colleges, you have a group studies, some will go upper, they will always try to take an upper hand. So the weak people will always try to show that they're strong and they'll try to bully you because they cannot show how weak they are within. And they cannot accept the fact that you are loved so much. When I'm not loved, how can she be loved? Now that becomes very difficult for them. That's why you will see the friends around, people around, they will always do something wrong to you. They'll try to bring you down, pull you down. Oh, and lower your confidence also. And this carries on generation to generation to generation. So I always tell people, please heal your inner child. It's a part of you. It's nothing to do with anybody else. It's that small kid inside. And trust me, once you start healing it, once you have this class, you will automatically, you know, you have even forgotten. Do you do anything that if I tell people to jot down in the class 20 things that they would really like to do, they just cannot come up with it instantly because they have forgotten themselves completely. Conditioned by the people around, the consciousness around, the family, the children, the parents. Where are you? The child is lost, you know, and we don't even sit and think to find it. And you know, if you act childish, for me, for example, if I am very childish, they say, oh, you haven't grown up. I don't mind. I'm happy. And I tell myself I've taken all responsibilities that are there, but I'm not never going to let that child go away because I love that part of me, because it's just part of me. Just because someone is telling don't do this, I'm not going to do that at all. So that's, I have a class coming up, which is on Sunday, which is 27th of August. It's in 1-day class. If anybody wants to attend it, can send me a private message. I can tell you the course fee and the timings and the place where it's being held. And we do a lot of activities in the class. We do the, and soul fragments. So when your child is, we leave so many soul fragments around. So that's why our soul is not complete. We are never feeling love. Self-love is lacking. So you bring in soul fragments because when your child is sick, you give your soul to a person and you pick up a lot of soul fragments from them too. So there are a lot of things that we do in the class. It's a practical class where you go back into your childhood when you're small and you start healing that child, and you will see so many things changes in your world outside. And after this, once you finish the class, you can even do it healings for others. And we do baby in the womb. We go into the womb, we clear everything that the baby has in the womb. And then we do small activities also to bring that child out. We draw, we make stuff, there's a clay. So, you know, you reconnect where you have lost yourself. And it not only helps, again, I'm saying, not only helps you, it also helps your family. Zareen, everybody can hear me.
I would like to say something.
Okay, one second. Shia, you can go.
Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Hi. Yes.
I would like to say something actually, For me, I always never used to believe in myself. And I used to always feel ki I can't do anything in life. Though after some time I had started doing few things, some exhibitions, art exhibitions, and then I stopped those. And then I started doing the mithai thing.
Mm.
I started feeling little content ki I can do something in life. Before that, I always used to feel that I'm worthless. I can't do anything. So now I can relate that it was my inner child thing.
And it's still there.
And like I did a course, one course 3 years back, that is 2020. So that course gave me little power to come out of my comfort zone and do things. And so yeah, that has given me little confidence in me. But what are you saying? I was a issue of inner child.
Yeah. So it is still there. You really need to heal it completely, because this is just you're trying to bring yourself out, but it hasn't come out completely. This is what happens when you're small, when you really want to do something, and because of their own conditioning, the parent will say, no, 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 don't do this. And it's okay. Child will make a mistake. It's fine. Don't put your fears into the child and not let the child do things that the child wants to do.
Like
It's
for
not.
me, my father never stopped me to do things, but he always had that, key. You don't have to go out till late.
And
After
me.
7 o'clock, you
Yeah.
must be home. You can't talk to boys in school, in college. Like, so I can relate all this now. That was all my inner child, what fears I had. I
Yeah.
can totally relate it now.
So it's very important to heal your inner child, because then it gives you that, you feel very, when you're a child, you feel very powerless, because you can't fight with your parents. You can't say anything to them. So you just have to be in that aura and listen to them. And as you grow up, you always keep giving the remote control into someone else's hand. And
Yeah.
you keep crying and cribbing about it. Oh, why this thing is not happening to me? That person is taking, sometimes I have even found the parents, when they have a child, they feel they own the child. Ownership. It's not something you went and bought. Just because you gave the birth to the child is not owned by you. So you cannot mold the child just the way you want. Yes, parents are very, very important. They discipline a child, they bring the child in a certain energy. Parent is very important part. But you also have to see how the child is growing up. That's why I always say, parents, you really need to parent yourself first before you bring a child in the world. See, a child will bring certain things of his own. We always will have differences. We will always have our fears. We'll always have our own beliefs or system and limiting things. But can we change that? At least try. And as we grow big, we want to be, that's what I'm saying. The consciously we have grown up. So we know, oh, this work I will do bring confidence in me. If I do this way, I can come out of it. But you haven't come out completely. It's just not to do with one area. It has to do with all your health. Why do people have diabetes, thyroids, heart issues? Because, yeah, the heart is so blocked. Suppressed emotion is what your thyroid is all about. Cervical, it's so much on your shoulders. It's because you have too much responsibilities. All these come among from the emotions that you have been keeping aside. Ignorance. We don't even want to look at our part. Kisi ne hurt kar diya, we will look for somewhere else. Let's do something else. Let's just not put a finger onto it. It's hurting. Have you ever sat down and cleared your hurts that you have? No, no time. This I always hear from people. I don't have time. If you do not have time to self-change, then no one can do anything for you. You'll same circle, you will keep living and passing on to the generations. That generation will pass it, and it becomes a baggage. Your ancestors, your parents, everybody is carrying their own baggage and they're passing on to the other one. Another one is already bringing from their own baggage, and then they become heavy for the child. And we don't even realize. We just don't want to change. Yeah, tell me.
Tell me, since you're talking about child healing, is soul healing and child healing, isn't it similar then?
No, soul healing is separate. You're working only on the soul. They're very different.
Okay.
Soul imprints are completely different.
Okay.
We are only working on the beliefs of the people over here.
Okay.
Soul healing is completely different.
I think, as you said, maybe some people don't realize that they need to heal. And most of us, like, it's like, okay, jaane de, koi nahi. Right?
It's usual.
So,
It's a very general thing. Leave it. It's सबके साथ होता है.
हाँ,
But
true.
you're not understanding. Do you want to be? I always ask people, do you want to be like others? Be in the crowd, or you want to step and take that one step ahead and change your life? It's a choice. You want to live into that suffering and go on and just go back. And that's when I teach Akashic also. You want to reincarnate and learn your lessons, or you want to finish it now? Because you are going to come back and go to that baggage again. And then just try to understand. I don't understand. You're loading it to your children. Do you think they deserve the things that you have gone through? And the poor people, when they go into the world, they're carrying from them also. Because they have so much of their hurts and pains and trauma from the child, they're attracting certain people because they're also teaching them something. Maybe someone is coming in their life to teach them to stand for themselves and they're not understanding. Betrayal. A mother leaves a child and goes, child feels betrayed, abandoned. You always feel abandoned. Whether it's a sibling, you feel abandoned from the husband is not giving time. Yeah, these are all your childish issues. Trust me, once you heal them, you will automatically see everything change in your life. Be it financial, be it your relationships, be it your health, career that you're looking for. Really, you really need to heal your child for that confidence, that self-worth. Just for doing small things, why you feel that you're limited, you're limiting yourself to that much because there's so much fear, and we pass that fear on to the child. Child is not going to leave you and go anywhere. It's fine. The more you let the child heal and heal yourself, child is going to love you. You see how your relationship much, much better it gets. It becomes so beautiful that you'll be like, wow. And I always tell this, it's very important for everyone to heal themselves. Especially let your child play. How much do you remember ever playing a hide and seek with your child when you grow up? You hide and you just scare the child? No, I'm a mother. I can't do that.
I still do it.
What?
I said I still do it with my
Yeah.
grown-up children.
Yeah, it's fun. Have you
I
drawn
know.
anything? Have you gone and had a coffee with yourself? Have you dated yourself?
No, I can't do that. Alone, I cannot do it with
Yeah.
myself.
So you
I
need
need
to work on it.
somebody.
Yeah, so you need to come out of it. Fear of being alone, loneliness.
I do that. I never used to do that before. Since in 2020, I told you I did a course. So after that, I've started doing these little things for me. I used to laugh at people, how a person can go alone for a coffee or a lunch. But I have started doing this for me now.
Yeah.
I've,
It's very
I've even
important.
seen ladies go alone for a movie. I said, अकेली कैसे बैठ के
Yeah,
देखेगी?
that is your belief. It's not that.
Yeah. But it's so interesting कि भाई, she's
So
made an effort to
yeah,
go and sit and do something that she wants
because
to
she
do.
loves. She's not going to wait for others. It's fear of
That's what
loneliness.
we do all our lives.
Yeah, it's fear of loneliness, no? We don't let our children go anywhere outside. We will make them stick to us. Fear. Fear is the biggest and the lowest vibration that the person runs with.
One of this generation of ours, maybe we were taught we were always dependent, first
Yes.
on our parents, then on our partners, and then in-laws were also there,
Yeah.
and then now you are like kind of sticking to your kids. So I guess, yeah, it's got stuck inside somewhere.
They teach their children independency. You have to start understanding there's nothing to called independent. If you become independent, you will become lonely. Why the half the world is alone? Because they always want to be independent. I will do everything. This is me. This is me. It's always interdependence. You think Bill Clinton will become rich without being interdependent with anybody else? You can never do anything by yourself in your life.
Yeah.
That's how we are conditioned and we grow up. The collective consciousness. So it is so important to let that beautiful kid. I would always suggest parents if they can bring their children and do the course together. I have certain people who have done that, and the relationship that they both understand each other so well because they
The
come from
child should the child should agree. I mean
yeah, so
that's
that
the
you
problem.
have to be
I
in
mean,
that position to make your child understand.
yeah, because today's kids, they are unaware of all these things. If we try to explain them, they'll say, "Mom, what is all this bullshit? I've never
Yeah.
heard about it." I mean, it's all new to them. It's a new world to them. They have never heard
And you
about
have
it.
to be in that position to explain. So if a child comes to me, I have never heard a no from a child. Kids come and take advice.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
need to do this. Shall I do this way? Yeah. It is how you're going to put the child, your relationship with the child. And
No,
what
we'll tell them. I mean, this course is good. I guess it'll help you and all that.
no,
Yeah, I mean,
they're
but
not
what is
even like that.
exact?
You have to bring the points that they have their beliefs in.
Yeah, true. I
You
guess
know,
that
yeah, because when you start,
might be have to share your recordings to my child for them to actually understand what you're speaking, because what I explain them will be totally different from what you have explained now. So
yeah,
if you can share the recording, if I
yeah,
can
sure.
share it to her, the basic whatever we have spoken today. So if it really hits her, then she can go. I mean, that way.
So why don't you join?
Because I feel, I mean, I
Yeah,
think
this
she's
is
stuck
the
up
thing.
in few things. No, she's stuck up in those notions that sometimes the sibling. I mean, my she's got less attention than my other sibling, though because my younger one, he had some issues when he was small, so we had to give him a lot of time. He
Yeah,
was on
this
some
is
lot
what
of
happens now.
medication.
So I tell parents, you heal first, na? Why don't you come for a class? See, somewhere the change has to come. Parent, if you're going to wait for your child to always go and do it, you need to start understanding you have your own issues too. It's not that you don't guys
Yeah,
don't have issues. So if you resolve
yeah,
your
but
issues, they're connected to your DNA. So if you
yeah, but
resolve,
my major problem is that I mean, they shouldn't
they
have
will.
those notions in their head, which are totally, I mean, not right. I mean, obviously,
When
they
you're
have
healing,
their
you're
own
healing
reasons.
your child. You have to start understanding. I'm going to repeat this again. If you heal, you're going to heal your child. And when you heal, it's easier to communicate with your child because it's a healed version of you. It's a better version of you. And your energy changes, your child energy changes. You have to start understanding how the energies work. I always say self work first you do, then you can expect a change outside. Whether it's children, whether it's husband, whether it's family, whether it's around. We always keep looking, usko तो पहले बदल दे, उसको problem है वो चले जाए, उसको कर दे, then the change never comes. And you pass it on. We never look कि पहले हम change होंगे ना, तो हम किसी को तभी change कर सकते हैं जब हम में कुछ change आएगा. And they see that word. You can explain your child and others much better when you have gone through that. That's why they say, no, if you cannot be in that shoe, you can never understand other person's pain. So if you haven't healed and connected to your inner child, how are you expecting someone else to connect to their inner child? Have you sat down how many things your children must be seeing in you that they don't like, but they don't have the
No,
guts to tell you?
no, touch wood. I mean, I mean, I have a very good rapport. They share quite a lot of stuff, and even we share our stuff. We have a very open rapport. I mean, it's not that, but the thing is that sometimes when the discussion comes, I mean, these few points come up. Mom, I think you have given more time to my younger sibling.
The issue is
Because
there.
and we try to explain that I mean, this was a situation and nothing happened. I mean, but then I guess these few things are in her head which I her want her to be healed of, because
Yeah. So
of
it's
all
very
this.
important, to let go because this is what they're going to carry when they get married also. When they
Yeah,
go for the
that's what I don't
workplace
want
also.
that.
Yeah.
After hearing all these things, I mean, I didn't know actually what the inner healing was. So, I mean, I think that class should be for her, basically. I mean, because I want to remove her few notions that way.
No, that's fine because if she heals, she's going to get a better partner.
Yeah, because she
Cannot
has I mean, her whole life ahead of her,
Yeah.
basically, and she'll attract all those people. I mean, all those things which are meant, I mean, basically in the right path, that way.
So if you guys will sit and really connect yourself, you'll see how much that you are attracting people around you just the way you are broken somewhere. Beliefs that you have. Betrayal, so many betrayals you have. No, मेरे friend ने ये मुझे धोखा दे दिया, मेरे friend ने वहां मुझे धोखा दे दिया, मुझे ऐसा हो गया. We all have those experiences.
Yes.
Fear, regrets. Gosh, things would have been like this. Low self-confidence.
I have a question. Is inner child healing is good, or Akashic healing is to be done?
Okay, so there are two ways. Inner child is always working on your child within you. So it's going to help you right now in the journey. Okay. And it is going to release the belief, which will give you much more, confidence, power. It will bring back that power within you, where you have felt helpless and powerless many times. Even with your children, you feel that. Even with your husbands around, you feel, oh, I'm so powerless. I wish I could do this. But Akashic helps you on your karmic baggage.
Okay.
The karma that you bring in from the past.
Okay.
So that is also very important, so that you do not pass that karmic baggage from your past lives to your children.
Okay.
And for your own self also. You are carrying so much from your ancestor, from your parents, from generations, from past lives. That was also important to let go.
And how long is this class, Inner Child?
It's a one-day class.
Like how many hours you
Okay,
can
so
say?
starts at around 11:30 and finishes by 5:30. So it's a whole day class. Okay, so now the time is over. So I'll just talk about inner child soulmate maybe next time. Next, I'll take another class, another session on that. Okay, thank you everyone. Any questions? Then we're going to wrap it up.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My concept is cleared now, Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Thank you, Neetu. I always thought soul, this thing was to do with the husband, as you mentioned. But now, yeah, I guess, yeah, it's anyone you connect with, right?
Yes.
Wow. Interesting. Very interesting.
Yes, Jyoti.
Thank you for this interesting session.
Most welcome. Yeah, Jyoti.
I just wanted to add, actually, I've done the inner child class already, and something very like there are a lot of things that you go through as a child, or you don't even realize or remember, like when if you ask, if you have like some things, what happened when you were a child, when you were 3 or 4, sometimes you don't even have memories of what happened when you are a child. Maybe something good, something bad, like very few memories actually remain, but a lot of things that would have hurt you, upset you, and you're still carrying it, like you release it and you realize it when you're in class. So it's an amazing class, and of course it gives you that connection to your inner child. Sometimes we don't realize in our rozmara ki zindagi that we've lost the things we love doing the most, and we just gotten busy with the entire world, with everything else but with ourselves. So it gives you a chance to connect to yourself, and it's beautiful. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you so much, Jyoti. Yeah, everyone, thank you so much for coming. I hope it helped everyone. And yes, I have a class. It's on 27th, the Sunday. And once you do that, you can also do healings for others, not only for yourself. So if you want your children to join, or you guys want to join, you can always let me know. You can DM me on the details and the course fees and everything. It's a definite, trust me, it's a beautiful class. You will love it and you will heal so much. It's more of the practical rather than a theoretical class. So we go into the deeper, and as Jyoti said, you don't even remember when you had any issue at the age of 1. We forget, there's so many faded memories that starts coming up. You wouldn't have even realized, oh shit, this happened to me. Oh,
Also, it's amazing, the baby in the womb activity, like when your mother was pregnant, or maybe when you get pregnant. I mean just like if you were pregnant, so things that happened, the child,
Right.
what the child was feeling, all that, it's just amazing to know all of that, like things you have picked up even at that time. Like always we hear that when you're pregnant you should see good things, hear good things, but you should feel happy because actually the child carries it throughout his or her life. So yeah, that's also an amazing activity.
So I have a client I just healed her. She was having her child. She brought her daughter who was getting healed. And it was very strange. I was doing a healing and I was giving the unconditional love and sending out because we were doing the baby in the womb for the child, for the girl. The mother was sitting just next to her and she said, I would like to see how you're healing my child. I said, yeah, sure. And I sent the love. I asked the child to send the love from the umbilical cord to the mother, and mother could feel it then itself. She said, I've never felt so beautiful ever. I could receive so much love. And she's so true. I was going through such a tough time when I was carrying her. And the love the child sent across to herself, she was feeling, and to the mother through that cord, she said, I can never forget that feeling. She have to, even today she comes, she said that healing, I just cannot forget that unconditional love that was sent through that cord. And I could just feel so amazing. And I could feel that energy so beautifully when you were doing the healing for my child. So inner child is definitely, it's a beautiful, beautiful class. I always recommend people to do it, whether it's for your child, whether for your own self. We always we do a lot of things in life, but we always keep certain things aside, thinking that ye to baad mein kar lenge. It's fine. And then we become, oh, I'm too old for this, or I don't have time. This is a very big, very nice word people tend to use. And I always understand when you don't have time, then you don't have value for your own self. No priorities in life. बिकॉज यू ऑलवेज सेइंग हमारे पास वक्त नहीं है, मेरी फैमिली के लिए करना है, बच्चों के लिए करना है, मेरे को तो टाइम ही नहीं मिलता, आई हैव सो मच वर्क टू डू, आई एम अ हाउस वाइफ, आई हैव टू डू माई बिजनेस. Understand whatever you do, you need to do clearing for yourself if you want a better life. You wouldn't have to struggle. Your struggles will become lesser. Things will attract themselves and they come to you when you heal your own self. It's everything within inside. The entire world is within. If you heal that world, the outer automatically is going to change. Futures, and you're going to attract the best people and better people in your life. Rather than having broken people coming in your life, it is better to have someone who are already in that path and much, much better. They don't have betrayals in them. They don't have regrets in them. They do not have comparison they have not done. They are so self-confident and good self-esteem. Better to have those people who bring you up. And you attract because you feel that way. You always attract what you feel within. Thank you, everyone. It was a great to have and talk, and it was an amazing thing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the
Thank you.
too interesting,
you.
too interesting. Thank you so much, Neetu.
Most welcome. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Bye.